The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Salem Media of Hawaii.
Welcome to Generations Radio, where the focus is on our seniors and their families. We are here each Saturday afternoon from 5 until 6 p.m., bringing you resourceful information with our radio team of professionals in the field of aging. Stay with us for the next 1 hour as we explore different ways to make life more exciting and meaningful for our extraordinary seniors. Right here on AM 690 The Answer. And now, here is our host and the publisher of Generations Magazine, Percy Ihara.
And welcome back to Generations Radio. I'm here with my co-host, the lovely Miss Melissa Mansfield from Ultras Medical, the state's newest gerontologist. So thanks for joining us again, Melissa.
Thank you. I love being here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you work with seniors every day, like
every
myself,
day. Mm-hmm.
And so and more so dealing with the baby boomers and mostly women. You said, right?
That's correct. Yes. But what I love about doing this show is I get to meet amazing guests and I get to learn more resources in the community that I'm able to take back to my position and then share with the daughters and sons that call me.
Yeah. So Ultras Medical, what exactly do you do? I know, but tell our audience what you do.
So I am one of the care managers. I go out to the homes. I meet with the families. I set up their care plans. I'll also walk the home to make sure that we take away any tripping hazards because fall precaution is very important to us. And then we will match the caregiver with the client. And then we'll just stay on top of it. We'll reevaluate every month, 2 months, and then 6 months. And so we're always recruiting caregivers. So if you're out there and you're a wonderful caregiver that has a lot of compassion, we would love to hear from you.
Yeah, but that's the biggest thing we're seeing, that all these home care companies have a lack of
it's a shortage of caregivers. I think this is the first time that I can remember. I've only been in Hawaii for 12 years. However, I'm getting calls from facilities that have never used any type of caregivers because they've always had a plethora of them. And so I'm getting calls from, I don't want to name names, but a lot of very high-end facilities that are really needing caregivers.
Well, hopefully next year, our Hawaii Pacific Gerontological Society will put on the job fair sometime. I don't know, hopefully summertime we'll be able to get a job fair going. And I think we're going to have a career day at UH in March or April.
Okay, perfect. Yes.
Hopefully they'll solve that caregiver problem. But if you have issues for caregiving and you need some resources, we have one of the biggest resources here and one of the most well-known Hawaii resources, and that's Project Dana. So if you haven't heard about them, you better stick around or tell your friends about it. But Project Dana, we have Rose Nakamura and Martha Sampson. So welcome, ladies, to the show.
Hi, thank you, Percy.
Thank you.
We're happy to be here.
Yeah, and you know, Rose, you're my father's classmate from the Big Island. You know, small world, huh?
Yep.
My dad goes, I know that lady.
We just had our 70th high school reunion.
70th?
Wow.
Wow. But you guys still look young. You guys, I mean, you're still at the office every day.
Right.
I mean, I give you a lot of credit. My dad, he's been, my dad's been retired longer than he actually worked. I think he worked 31 years. I think he's been retired 33 years.
Wow.
I have to say, Rose is such a blessing to be with Project Dana all these years. She's there day in and day out, and we just wouldn't be here without her. So
absolutely. And I was telling before we started the show, if you're listening here, is that I believe it was our second cover. We had Shinichi Kanazawa on the cover of Generations magazine. If you go to our website, generations808.com, look on the left side, there's issues, and click on that, and you'll see past issues. And you got to scroll down all the way to the bottom, and you'll see the picture of Shinichi Kanazawa. I believe she was like 90 something at that time. The photo shoot is beautiful. One of my favorite covers because it was at a temple at the Temple University.
At Mo'iliili Hongaji.
Yeah, and just a beautiful. I mean, she was so photogenic, and unfortunately, she's passed away. But you guys have started something that's really, really grown. And so we always go back to. In fact, I was talking to the engineer earlier about this story about Project Dana. So what exactly the Project Dana means? Sanskrit, and what does that mean exactly?
Well, the word dana, is a Sanskrit word that means selfless giving, and to give of oneself with compassionate care to others. And we are basically, Project Donna is an interfaith volunteer caregivers
Right.
program that provides social support to frail elders, people with disabilities, and family caregivers.
Yeah.
And we are a statewide.
Yeah, statewide,
program.
you have, 30 plus, 40 plus
Yeah,
entities
right, yes.
statewide. And it's always interfaith all through different churches around
That's
the
right. That's right. Yeah.
And Martha, good to see you again. I know it's hard to believe we taped Olelo show, gosh, like 2007, 2008 maybe?
Really, I couldn't remember.
You're still look
But I
young.
remember.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I remember when you mentioned her name, Melissa, I said, I know that lady.
Sounds familiar, yeah.
Yeah. So what's
great.
going on with you now?
Well, I've been a volunteer for Project Donna 26 years plus now, I
Has
guess.
it been that long?
Yeah, and I can't tell you what it's meant to me in my life, but primarily a volunteer, and starting this year, I'm also the chair of the advisory council for Project Donna.
Right. And I remember, maybe you can tell the story again. When I met you, I think it was about 2007, 2008, you were talking about you were helping provide some social resource to one of your ladies that you had for like 17, 18 years.
Yes, yeah.
She might start with that little story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Rose, my husband's a graphic artist. I think, and this woman was also a graphic artist, and I think maybe initially Rose put us together because she thought we might have that common bond, and we did, and you know, she just became part of my family over the years. Would spend holidays with us.
Right.
And, you know, I mean, unfortunately, she passed away a couple of years ago, but we stuck together all those years, and I really miss her. I find myself now thinking about the elections and what she would think about them and things like that. But you know, she just being with that person for that, and that's not always a volunteer experience, but being with that person for so many years, we really got to be a family relationship that really enriched my life more than I could say.
But also with your daughter's life as
Yeah,
well, because
you're
she
right.
actually kind of grew up with her.
Yes, yeah,
That's an
she
interesting part of the
did.
story.
And my daughter's 32 now, but I think she was about
Wow.
3 or 4 when
Yeah.
we started, and we started as volunteers together, and I really felt like it was so important for our children to grow up around elderly
Experience that.
people
Absolutely.
and have that experience. And my parents weren't here, you know, she didn't have any grandparents here, so you know,
She was able to take on that role as a
Yeah.
grandparent.
yeah, it was great. Well, I wouldn't say my volunteer client was exactly grandmotherly, but
She maybe gave grandmother advice.
but they were very, but they were close, and we all became kind of a family,
Good.
a
So
family unit.
Project Donna started in over 25, 28 years
Yeah,
ago?
Project Donna, I think, began in 1989,
89.
somewhere. Yes, and how it began was that Shimeji Kanazawa was asked to represent Hawaii to the to a national organization and serving as a trustee for the National Federation of Interfaith Volunteer Caregivers Incorporated, with headquarters in Kingston, New York. She represented Hawaii, and particularly, I think she was asked to, get in because she was a strong advocate for seniors already, working and being involved with the elderly, with Executive Office on Aging. She served on the Policy Advisory Board for years and years, and I think up until the end she was an honorary advisor.
Right.
Yes. She went to meetings in New York and came back And when I met her, it was in the kitchen at our temple at Moi Ili Ili, where I had just retired from my professional career.
Wow.
So I just, in cooking in the kitchen, I just asked her, what's new? And
She goes, come here.
she had just come back from New York from one of the trustee meetings, and she said, as a matter of fact, this is something that we could probably start. So I said, oh, that sounds like a good idea. I'll help you.
Wow. I never heard that story before.
And it's supporting each other. I listened to her. I learned so much from her. She served as on the board of Kwakini. She was she was just all over as an advocate for the elders, and she would go to the legislature. Everybody
Yes.
knew her. Everybody
Yes.
knew her.
Oh, the governor knew her. She sits next to the governor.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And she was, the policy advisory board to the governor on elderly affairs was really important. And we're actually looking to, kind of get that really positioned where it really does make a difference in our community. We also have the Kupuna Caucus as well. But I still remember when we did a photo shoot, we did up in the governor's office over there. When we were doing a photo shoot, we didn't know how to get there because they wanted insurance and we're a private entity. So they wanted permits, stuff like that. I said, no. So actually Wes Lum,
That's right.
who was the director then, called the governor's office, said, can these guys use your office? So we brought in a photo shoot, whole crew and everything. And the governor came out and said hello. But I remember that. That was, I believe that was October 2010. It's interesting. And it's interesting. She's so humble because her son, who was actually my fraternity brother, didn't even know she was on the cover. She never told him, But yeah, you guys do so many services and programs out there. Give our audience a little breakdown of some of the things that you do, and does it vary by island or does it vary by church?
Well, I think that when we approach different groups and churches in particular, it is only natural that they look at their membership and they discover, oh my goodness, a large percentage of our membership are elderly and they need help, and to look at its neighboring community also, So that's what we started with, is to look at our church, and a great percentage, we're 60 and beyond.
60 now.
60, yeah.
Yeah, last time I talked to you was 42 or 45. Wow.
Yeah. And then, of course, our neighbors, so that's how we started. We went door to door, near our neighbors. And I remember a woman who lived right across of our church on University Avenue who called to say, can someone come and help me purchase a telephone with big numbers? My son's not home and he's away, and I would like someone to do that. I was so happy to help her. I just ran across the street and met her for the first time. Went to, Ward Warehouse and got her a telephone.
So there's no job too big or small.
Yeah.
Well, from my experience, some of the things are that so many of our elderly are lonely
Yes.
and bored.
Yeah.
And so just providing that human touch and visit on a regular basis, even if it's just by telephone, it's just someone you can count on that's out there that cares and is going to check on you. And then again, a lot needs, as we age, losing that driver's license or the ability to drive
yeah.
is a huge
Transportation
huge
is,
thing.
I would say 90% of my calls.
Yeah.
They need
And-
caregiving support. However, they need that transportation.
Yes. And so we can help provide that to the doctor. Or a lot of mine was doing grocery shopping, you know.
So let's back up. So let's say, a church in a community, let's say Manoa,
Right.
a church would approach you.
Yeah, Church of the Crossroads is our neighbor
Right. That's the one by
on University
on
Avenue.
that right by Midpack. the one?
Uh,
No.
It's kind of on the
no.
by university area.
Oh,
Yeah,
by
the
university. Oh, I know
university.
which.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Oh no, they came on last time.
Yeah.
That's right. By that on ramp to go on the highway. Oh, so they would approach you, and then you would find out what their needs are, or their needs
That's
of their
right. I
members.
think they were the first ones who kind of approached Project Dana to say, Rose, do you know that you are helping 3 of our members? No, I mean, we don't make any distinction. We just respond to the request.
Right.
So when we shared the information, they felt that it was important for them to, to respond. So we're very, very happy to work with leaders of that church, and they're one of the oldest too. But I think it is important. As we announced training for the first time, we sent out announcement to the Buddhist community, and one of the reasons was that we all admire Catholic charities,
Yes.
and our whole effort was, where's the Buddhists in the community? let's do something, and let's do an interfaith together with others. So that was the important whole idea of a group approach through churches, and there were pro-city people coming from different churches coming to our training, and as we shared, we also trained leaders so that each church site could develop their own program, look at their own needs, look at the community's needs nearby, and do something that they feel that they could respond to. We have a most recent group out in Kahuku, that's starting now as part of our project. They're focusing on at-home services, but not necessarily, a complete list that we have. So they can, I think, a group is flexible for them to say, we're just going to do respite, we're going to do friendly visit, or home safety and so on. So, we're happy to work together with various organizations, and that's interested in becoming part of this whole, Project Ana Ohana. Yeah. So it's telephone visits, friendly visits, respite, providing transportation to medical appointments, grocery shopping by list or by escort, you name it. It takes, all of these services come in different, ways that volunteers can help.
And you have a great caregiver support group too, right?
Right. We do have a very strong and very active caregiver support group that has been in operation for 16 years.
Wow.
Is that a weekly support group meeting or monthly support group meeting?
Yes. And it's a very cosmopolitan group. And as people live longer, caregiving becomes an extended,
Part of the
period.
family.
And they need the support.
And so all the volunteers actually come from the congregation of the church.
Yes. That's right.
Yeah.
So can individuals contact Project Dana and say, maybe they're not a part of an organization and they need a transportation, or perhaps a daughter calls and says, I'm on the mainland, my mom is showing signs of depression. How do I sign up? Or do they have to sign up through an organization, like a faith-based?
If a group is interested, they can call us. But if individuals are interested, on Oahu, we are, we are part of Kupuna Care and part of a grant from City and County of Honolulu Elderly Affairs Division. So we encourage individuals to call Elderly Affairs Division. It's now called ADRC. And then if there is a request for transportation or home safety or respite, then that referral will come to Project Honor.
Okay, that's the first step.
If it is a request for meals, it will go to Meals on Wheels.
Okay.
Yeah.
The woman I cared for so many years was not affiliated with a faith community. I think probably a social worker. She had rheumatoid arthritis, and I believe a social worker probably called Rose, and Rose matched us up and asked if I would go meet her.
Yeah, actually, I did not see. I've known you for many years, and I did not realize, actually, for probably the first 3 years or 4 years, that you did not have to belong to that congregation to get your services. I talked to your late girl over there, Cindy, and I said, Cindy, she lives in Pro City, but she doesn't belong to the church. She was Percy. You don't have to belong to the church. The church will take care of the people in her community. So I was like, wow, that's pretty good. But you must have 60 plus churches. So you must have several hundred volunteers.
No, we work with some churches have come on, and then leadership
Changes.
stops, and then it takes a while for them to look for others. So presently we have 32.
Oh, 32.
32 sites statewide.
Right.
Now, on the neighbor islands, the needs might be different. Homes, people might live in homes farther away from each other.
Sure.
And how can you get help? There, on the neighbor islands, there's a very strong interest in providing respite, and bringing seniors to the site or to the church, and seniors enjoy. On Maui, at the first temple that started, there was a woman who was eating saimin 3 times a day, and she ended up in a nursing home.
Yeah.
Wow.
So in support of that, they developed a lunch program every Monday, every week for years, and that group really increased. The volunteers provided healthy meals, and the recipients were able to take home dinners. And this still goes on the neighbor islands. That's one of the most popular.
Are you doing some of the meals here at all, or healthy?
And like in Hakalau, there is a anonymous donor financially that supports the meals once a week at Hakalau Jodo Mission, and the word has gone around throughout the island, and people from Pahoa, from Kamoela, all travel to attend that one day fellowship, and it's not just meals; it's providing exercise, fellowship, and exchange. Yeah, so it's a
big event of the week, probably.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think here on Oahu, we've got such a great resource with Hawaii Meals on Wheels. So I think a lot of the meals here are referred to them.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and we also, when we eat together, we're more, we share not only the stories of our lives, but we also feel more comfortable eating more. I know that it's proven that when you eat by yourself, you don't eat as much. You maybe skip meals. And
I better do that then.
That's what I was thinking. I better eat alone more.
and then we tend to just have self-neglect. So it's important, I think, when our communities do come together and eat together, that's important.
We limit the eating.
Yeah, well.
But it got to be healthy, not 3 Simons a day.
Yeah.
Why don't you take out that sodium packet and only put 1?
I've gone to 3 networking events this week, and I've already had pizza. So it's like,
that was an important part also of my volunteer experience. Every Sunday, that was our dinner or lunch time together. And sometimes, my daughter would come, and just getting out of the house a little bit. She didn't drive, and she just looked forward to that. I think all
it's like
week
you give them a
long,
purpose.
and it was such a tragedy if I couldn't make it for one.
Mm-hmm. They look forward to seeing you.
Yeah, really did.
Yeah.
You had mentioned transportation services, so you give the senior a ride to the church, or to the doctor's office, or to the grocery store.
Yes.
Oh.
You name it. I think, Martha, maybe you might want to.
Well, that
mention
was part of
what
it
you-
too. We always had to go grocery shopping after lunch or dinner or whatever. That was part of our outing, is to be able to do grocery shopping for the week. Then when she got less mobile, she would give me a list every week or call me with a list. And I think she really depended on me and another lady because she liked things just a certain way, and we knew, how she wanted. She was kind of particular, and over the years we knew exactly what she wanted. So
Good. We're here with Project Donna with Rose Nakamura and Martha Sampson. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back and talk about some of the other specialized programs like fall prevention, your safety program, and your caregiver support group meetings. So we're going to take a short break, and Melissa and I will be right back.
Percy Ihara from Generations Radio. If you have any questions or want to be part of our discussion, give us a call at 296-5467. That's 296-5467. This is Generations Radio on AM 690 The Answer.
Did you know 26 million Americans have kidney disease and most don't know it?
The day I was diagnosed, I didn't know what to do. I called the National Kidney Foundation, and the young lady who answered stayed on the phone with me and walked me through step by step. She too was surviving kidney disease, and she showed me there could be life after kidney disease.
Visit the National Kidney Foundation at kidney.org. Now you know.
Moon Physical Therapy is here to help you back to recovery. Moon Physical Therapy is located on Ward Avenue across from Sports Authority. Physician prescribed for motor vehicle accidents, workman's comp, or that body pain that comes from rushing to play without warming up. Also event cardiopulmonary rehabilitation with our one-on-one patient care. Moon's Aquatherapy heated endless pool allows for low-impact exercise with less pain on land. We will give you the right exercises to get you back to health. Ask your doctor to prescribe Moon Physical Therapy. Moon Physical Therapy. We achieve results.
Aloha, this is Martha Clopin.
And Al Harrington. Choosing the right Medicare plan not only saves you money, it also helps you avoid headaches and heartaches down the road.
We want to remind everyone
to listen to a Medicare Moment with Martha, Sundays from 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. as we help answer important questions on Medicare so you can stay healthy, wealthy, and wise all year long.
Call me at 543-2073, 543-2073.
I was an addict from the age of 13. I finally decided it was time for a change. I walked into the Salvation Army Adult Rehabilitation Center, and that got me ready for the real world. Now, I choose to be guided by Jesus Christ, and today, I'm building a powerful and promising future, free from drugs and alcohol.
Please shop at the Salvation Army family stores. With our discounted sales, your support through your purchase helps men live a clean, sober, and productive life.
Got Vegas on your mind? Get Vacations Hawaii on the line. Vacations Hawaii offers weekly 4 and 5 night Honolulu to Vegas packages, which include 3 meals daily from $6.99. Stay at Hawaii's favorite casinos: California, Fremont, Main Street Station, and Orleans Hotel. Vacations Hawaii will get you there in comfort on deluxe wide-body 767 planes with complimentary in-flight hot meal service. Vacations Hawaii's frequent flyer program gives you future travel discounts and credits. So if you're ready to win big, call Vacations Hawaii at 591-4777 or visit pointVacationsHawaii.com.
Today, more than ever, we local people are living longer than any other state in the Union, with more seniors, baby boomers, and caregivers. Generations Radio promotes the importance to be proactive as we all age. The radio team will focus on issues facing our seniors and their families, finding resources to navigate healthy aging along with financial, legal, and caregiving information. So join Percy Ihara from 5 until 6 each Saturday, right here on AM 690 The Answer. Focusing on the issues facing our seniors and their families today. Here's our Generations Radio host, Percy Ihara.
So welcome back to Generations Radio. Melissa and I are here every weekend. Well, hopefully not every weekend because
we need to enjoy our weekend too.
Yeah, so we'll see when you can be up and running and do the show by yourself.
And you can enjoy your weekend, and I'll be here.
Yeah, well, you're younger than me. But anyway, so you guys know our Veterans issue is out, the October-November issue of Generations Magazine. You can also go to our website, generations808.com, or go to our Facebook page. But the issue we featured is honoring 4 veterans on the cover. Great stories about their lives and why they gave to our country. But we all need to support veterans with our Veterans Day coming up. But anyway, we're here at Project Dana, one of the longest running nonprofits in the state of Hawaii. 1989, Rose? And it's amazing. Right. You and Shimeji Kanazawa really, you're still around. And I know you're not ready to retire for another 10 years or so, right? But you've done a great job. And Martha, I'm glad to see you here. I remember you from 7-8 years ago, and you supporting that lady that you had as a clown.
Thank you. It's great
client.
to be here.
So anyway, couple of things we want to cover. I know you're really been big with this fall prevention, and Micah at your office does that. Give our audience, because fall prevention and falling is a huge problem. A lot of people may not be aware, but you folks have a fall prevention program where Mike will go out and do an assessment in the house. So explain to our audience about how that works.
Well, let me start with this statement. Every time you hear an ambulance, it's probably somebody who has fallen.
Statistically, it says 90%.
Wow. According to emergency rooms throughout the hospitals, they receive more than 8,000 visits by elders each year.
8,000. That's what's that? I'm not good about my calculator, but let's just say
lot.
800, 750 per month.
And Mike Hirano, who is our fall prevention home safety coordinator, talks about numbers like this: 51% of deaths occurring are from falls. 61% falling are women at home, and the places at home that occur are in the bathroom, the kitchen, and in the bedroom.
All the hard surfaces.
Yeah, and
especially bathrooms.
Yeah, and he's willing to do presentations on fall prevention to any group.
Yeah, church group or retirement club, any senior center, any clubs, associations. But yeah, and Mike's a volunteer.
Yeah, and he's also established a home safety, visit where he goes into the home to make recommendations to the homeowner so that the home would be a much safer place.
Right.
Yeah. He goes to neighbor islands and does training, and right now he has 2 assistants, one out in Mililani that provides home safety assessments also.
Oh, wow.
And the other volunteer that does home safety assessments out in Kailua, Kaneohe, out that way. So
wow, you're expanding.
Whenever there is a volunteer interested in this whole area, he's willing to do training and follow up. We have someone right now who is a volunteer in training.
Oh, good.
Another one, yes.
But that's so important to have somebody that's trusted come into the home to really walk around, do an assessment, and probably give them some tips as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you find that should occur, or what questions can the senior ask regarding home safety or home improvements? Because I feel that sometimes when I go into the home, I do give suggestions. However, when I go back to the home, maybe 6 months later, there's no grab bars. They still have the rugs that are tripping hazards. So I guess my question is how I want seniors to be armed with, what are the best questions to ask someone like Mike,
I think what happens is when someone falls is when the calls come in.
Okay, so it's
the
after the
question
fact.
is,
Unfortunately.
it happens to be
Okay.
after the fact in most cases, I think. But those of us who do, not home safety assessment, but home assessments when a need is there to provide transportation or a friendly visit and so on, I have learned from Mike to just say, could I walk around your house to see? And when I see a loose rug, I said, I just, point out to them that, this might lead to, this might prevent, this might lead to a fall.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might be safer for you to take that towel from the floor away. And there are little tips that we've all learned from him that we also promote.
Grandkids' toys on the ground.
Oh, and dogs.
But
That's a big one. They like to get under your feet too.
I do want to mention the fact that there's a person in need grant from the Hawaii Community Foundation that we have received, and we do offer some grant funding for purchase of to place assisted devices into a home to make it safer.
Oh, really?
I think we would
Wow.
like to encourage anyone to call us at our office if they would like to. But first of all, we would like to do a home assessment.
Home assessment, see their needs, things like that. Oh, wow. So, real quick, well, I know we'll mention it again before I forget, because I always forget phone numbers. What's the best phone number to reach you guys at?
What is the
best phone number?
The best phone number is 945-3736.
3736. I know. And actually, I'm having my relative go visit you guys next week to be a volunteer, to try and see what we can do. And next week, Wednesday, we're taking him down to go see what kind of a volunteer program he can help out with, because he wants to give back to the community as well. So you're at the top of my list.
Wonderful.
So volunteers are extremely important. What does it take to be a volunteer with Project Donna?
Well, I think if anyone is interested in helping, and it could come from a friend saying, oh, I'm helping Project Donna and helping this elderly woman with shopping and so on, and a friend could say, oh, I can do that, and then they're encouraged to call us. Or there is, for the students, there is such a thing as a service learning program at all of the colleges
really?
here in Hawaii.
Nice.
And as part of their class, like in what should I say, sociology on aging, or even religion, or even geography, if the professor requires a certain number of hours out in the community in substitute for an exam or a paper, they're welcome to call us. And the colleges sponsor service learning days, so we're invited as an agency to establish a table. And this semester we have more than a dozen students.
Really? Wow.
Who are
Yes, they're getting
here,
involved.
who are with us to learn more and to be in contact with elders.
And I think it's important to note that you don't need any special training. Project Donna, supports and trains volunteers, provides that. You just need a kindness and loving heart and compassion and, the willingness and the desire to help, I think.
Yeah, and be able to show a lot of respect and honesty out there. Because it's one of the biggest things with the market that we serve. It's really important that they get the training. They have to have the compassion to start with. You can't teach compassion, So you provide all the training for all the volunteers. Now, I thought you guys did like every month you did training or something like that.
We do have a basic orientation for beginning volunteer. That's called a caring presence. And we do sponsor this at new sites and basically it focuses on how to listen and how important listening is when you make visits and contact with elders. They're the ones who have the wealth of knowledge.
Yes.
They're the ones that can teach the volunteers what life is all about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's-
A lot of stories.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of
Yes.
the parts, things I like about sitting with my clients is that, man, these stories is just wonderful, and you can't make them up. And what I really like too is also when I used to go to Alulike, we sit with some of these Hawaiian elders, and they'll tell you stories of old Hawaii. And it was like, it's like history right in front of you. The historian telling you about old Hawaii, or like when I went to Waimanalo about the beaches over there. It was just amazing stories. And I could spend hours there. It's interesting. And there was about 5 elders learning how to play the ukulele, and it was just, at that age, they never learned how to play the ukulele like myself. I want to eventually learn, but at 80 years old, 90 years old, I learned how to play ukulele. So yeah, listening is so important. That's one thing this younger generation doesn't quite do too well,
I always say the art of communication is lost. When I know when I go into my lunchroom, everybody is on their cell phone. Nobody's talking. So I just look and I will say something. And I go, wow, look, we're all together and we have nothing to say. So I want to ask, so how do you teach someone to listen? How do you, within that curriculum, what advice do you give to the volunteers on how to listen?
Yeah, we have a volunteer application form where we do ask for whether they have volunteered or helped, other organizations, what's their hobby, their interest, and so on. And we do want to make sure that they're, they can be trusted, because this is the most important part of having a volunteer going into the home.
Absolutely.
There's a liability, aspect that we need to be really, really very careful about. But I do want to talk about another training called Eden at Home. And we offer a group of certified trainers, Eden at Home training, where the focus is on caregivers, and that the 3 rages of seniors are loneliness, helplessness, and boredom, like Martha mentioned, those aspects. And we offer this not only to volunteers, but we offer this training to our counterparts of service providers and anyone interested. So each year we provide about 5 different training announcements on Eden at Home. And it's the founder is Dr. Thomas.
Dr. Bill Thomas.
Yes, Dr. Thomas, who is so well internationally known.
Yes.
And it's wonderful to hear his whole concept of caring. Yes.
Yes, he has a blog called Changing Aging, I believe it is, every week actually. And he was one of the first people to come to Hawaii that helped start the Elderhood Project at KHON. I had met him. But this is a geriatrician, but just the way he presents the issue of caregiving and how to be a caregiver is amazing, and his heart and what he does and he's trying to attack this on a world level, not just at a Hawaii or U.S. level, but he's done some great work out there.
So that concept also bloomed into the Greenhouse Project. Is
not
that
sure
the
about that. I
same?
know he brought to Hawaii the Eden at Home project over 10 years ago.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I know you do. So your caregiver support group, do they meet every week or every month?
The caregiver support group meets twice a month regularly on the 2nd and 3rd Wednesday of each month. And the support group meets at the Hawaii Bed Wing on Pali Highway.
Oh,
it is a social hall where parking is
underneath.
accessible,
Yeah.
and the facility is
the one
excellent.
Going up the Pali, the last one on
That's
the right, the
right,
big white
that's
truck.
right.
Yeah.
1727 Pali
Yeah.
Highway. And caregivers come from Aya, Mililani, all over.
But how many do you get there?
They're about registered, they're about 45 caregivers. But not, the attendance differs when caregivers have problems at home.
Absolutely.
But they do meet regularly with the first Wednesday focusing on what is out there, resources, learning about, legal issues, is one. Learning about, Medicare, Medicaid, things of that nature.
Sure.
So, with the time that we have offered this support group, is now that some of these providers are calling to say, I'd like to speak to your group, which is really a wonderful turnaround for us. The other is the second Wednesday is a rap session where, they have a chance to talk to each other and share and feel that they are not alone in, this whole effort of caregiving. And there is a third one, which is completely called outing, where they decide where they would like to go, to the museum or to the beach, and just relax, because it is a time for them to really be appreciate the time away from
caregiving, their respite.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a bonding.
And most of the support groups meet once a month. I know of majority of the support group meet once a month.
Well, respite care is so important for the caregiver, because that's one of the growing areas. Several of my friends, the mother passed away because the mom was taking care of dad, besides all the bills and the cooking and cleaning of the house. And we're seeing more and more caregivers pass away. And whenever I see a situation where a mom's doing everything, I say, you know what, you need to take a break. You need to tell your children, take you out, or come in, give you a break, because if that caregiver goes down,
there's nobody to take care of.
Yeah, and it puts more pressure on the family,
Absolutely.
And the coordinator for the support group does a lot of one-to-one counseling also, and make suggestions for referral for further professional counseling if caregivers need that service.
I am looking at starting a caregiver column once a month. So maybe I might want to have Martha or one of your other caregivers write a column, because I was reading ARP magazine just last week, I believe it was, and people only think of caregiving as being a very difficult job, stressful. They always say you can tell a caregiver because they're unkept. They have all boda clothes. And I always thought of caregiving as, when I met Martha as well, the joy they had of caregiving. So maybe you want to think about that if you ever want.
Sure, I'd be happy
because,
to.
There's so many great stories, but so many memories of good times with your
Absolutely
with your friend.
When you were talking, I was kind of reminded when you were talking about all the stories that you heard so many times and I relate her stories about World War II and her experiences there. People just say, Martha, you should write a book. So you just learn so many interesting things other than just those transportation services or going shopping or whatever. You just get so much in return as well.
You learn about their life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let me see. So I guess I want to touch back on caregiving. I had a client call me and she wanted to know what she could do for herself. She's going to be a new caregiver to her mom, and as a resource, I was not really able to let her know. I just said, look at the Elderly Affairs Division. So within the organization, and you had mentioned training, do you also advise them on little tips and that they can do for themselves? The only thing I was able to provide was take time for yourself. So kind of wanted to look inside a little deeper. Besides taking time for yourself, what else do you suggest that either new caregivers or caregivers that have been doing this for a while, what trade secrets do you have for them?
Yeah. In the caregiver support group, we just did an evaluation or survey, and one of the strongest point is self-care, and the coordinator, Maria, is very good she comes with a social work background and does learning about counseling, but at the same time, we got a small group together, and as part of one of the sessions, the first 30 minutes is spent on self-care. In other words, we have someone coming in to do stretching and exercise, and relief, and everybody comes together to do that before the rap session begins.
Release stress.
Those are things that caregivers need to be told to put into action.
Well, I think also, just in my experience, I think you have to set some kind of boundaries for yourself. You have to know what you can do and what your limits are, because if you reach that, you're no good to anyone. It's kind of like, on the airplane when they tell you, if you have little children, to put on your mask, oxygen mask first in an emergency so you can help others. You have to realize that you have to be able to take care of yourself, or you're really no good to anyone else.
No, that's a great point, putting up boundaries.
And then, try and find resources when you've hit those boundaries, either within your own family or by calling something like Project Donna's caregiver support group to get better, or elderly affairs.
And I also mentioned to her, find sense of humor. Because
Absolutely.
You have to laugh and, find humor in everything, even and walk away. And it's okay to walk away, leave the room, and then come back, have a smile on your face.
Absolutely.
So finding that humor and in a comment or a statement that your loved one has just made to you.
That is so important.
Yeah. I would probably say, if anything, get respite on a regular basis, not once a month. At least once a week, if not an hour a day. We had another friend of mine that it was so overwhelming just for her that she had her 2 boys help out, because she was getting burnt out. But what's cool about her story is that her son grew up as well with grandma, and they saw what mom was doing as a caregiver, and so they really learned firsthand what it is to be a caregiver. But it came out when they got older, it showed they're more compassionate as a person, because they did that for their grandma, and it was kind of out of necessity, but it really made them into great men, so.
Absolutely.
Anyway, Project Donna, we're here with Martha Sampson and Rose Nakamura. We're going to have to close up here. And again, Project Donna is located in Mo'ilili, right?
Right. Yeah.
And the phone number again, Rose?
Our phone number is 945-3736.
Right. So if you're looking to be a caregiver, a volunteer, if you need caregiving services or social services, give Project Donna a call. They're a great resource. They're one of the state's most well-known organizations here. So thank you so much. Thank you, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you, Melissa.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Aloha and live well.